be 2 pages, 3 pages, no more than that. All right, so now number 8, let's look at building an agreement or building a contract. As before we saw the way of contract, right? Do we need more specific or more general? Here we're gonna see how do we make a contract, right? So there are 2 ways. There is the bottom up here and the bottom down approach. So the bottom up here, as you can see, when we make the contract, we start with agreement on a specific issues. For example, we're going to start with the price. Every point has to be negotiated one by one. First, we start with the price. If we agree on the price, we're going to move to delivery date. If we agree on the delivery date, we're going to move on the penalties. What if you are late, right? So penalties. If we agree on the penalties, we're going to move and negotiate the product quality. Once we finish the product quality, we're going to move to the inspections. So it's point by point. So as you can see, we say bottom up. It means we negotiate on point by point, right? So it's from the bottom to the up. And once it reaches the up, it becomes an agreement. The second way of making a contract, it's called top down, right? So it starts from more general agreement. We're going to agree on more general things, right? And after that, we're going to move to more specific things like the price, delivery, or something like this. So here again, it's very important for you to understand your clients. What is the approach that he used to make the contract? If we look at some statistics, we know that countries from France, Americans, people from Argentina and Indians, they like to use the bottom up. It means when you work with them, first they're going to go through the price first, they're going to go through the delivery, the quality, the inspections one by one, and then they're going to make a whole contract. However, if you are working with countries from Japan or Mexico or Brazil, those people, they prefer to use the top down. Right? You sit down with them, they're going to agree, okay, my company and your company, we're going to sign this contract, we're going to make this product. So they're going to agree on more general things. And later, they're going to agree on the price and on the shipping and the quality. So every culture, as you can see, it's a little bit different from the other. As you can see here, this is the top down, as I said, countries like Brazil, Japan. As you can see, this contract, it's very general. The beginning is very general. It just says the buyers is me, the supplier is you. You're gonna supply me this product, So the beginning is always more general, right? And they're gonna see, okay, you're gonna be my suppliers. All the information is gonna be confidential. But if you look at the bottom top approach, is very different, right? As you can see here, the contract. When they build it point by point. We have point number 1, which is the terms and the conditions. Number 2, which is the price. Number 3, which is the condition of the goods, packaging, label. Number 4, which is the production. As you can see, the contracts are very different. This one is more general, top down. This one is more specific, point by point, bottom up. So those I think are very important for you to understand. So whenever you have a client, you know how to prepare yourself and how to make the contract and how to negotiate with him, either on general specifications or general terms, and then you move on to the specifications as we have seen here, or on specific point by point, which is the bottom up. Very important for you to understand this approach. Okay, number 9, team organization, right? So let's say there's a group of clients coming to see you, right? When you sit down with them, you and your manager and your team, you are doing the negotiation. It's very important to know who or how the decision is made, because the decision can be made depending on every culture. In some culture, only one person is in charge of the decision. In other culture, the group, They have to get together and decide. So I'm going to give you an example. In some culture, right, as I said, they focus on the person. Only one person, he's a super person. He will be the one who will be deciding for the others. In other cultures, they focus on the group. For example, if we look at the Chinese and the Japanese, usually in the negotiating table, it's always a group, right? They come in a group and they decide within the group. However, if you look at, Americans and Canadians, right, it's a little bit different because the culture is very different, right? So in USA and Canada, they always have one person. He's the super leader, and he's the one who's going to decide for all the matter for his area, right? And the others, they tend to follow him because everybody is individualist. Everybody has his own work, and usually they don't work together. Everybody decides for his own department. So this is something that you really have to be careful with when clients come to see you, so you will be able to know how the decision is made, right? If you work with Canadians and Americans, it's very easy because you know that person is the one who's going to decide. But if you work with Japanese and other culture, right, you know that the decision is a little bit more complicated and it depends on many people. So I think this is very important. Number 10, which is the last one, risk taking. Some people, they have high risk taking. Some people, they have low risk taking. And again, it depends on every culture, right? If we look at the Japanese, the Chinese, Koreans, and Middle East, right? Those people, when they take a decision, usually it takes them a lot of time. Why? Because they want, first, a lot of information, right? Second, they have to work in a group to make the decision, right? So those people, they tend not to take too much risks. So if you deal or you do business with people from Japan, Korea, and Middle East, you have to expect that their decision is going to take a little bit time. However, if you work with Americans, French, British, Indians, those people are risk takers, right? For them, they don't have to wait too much time. They don't have to, work in a group. One person with enough information is able to decide as quick as possible. So the question now is how to deal with, low risk cultures. As I said, low risk cultures like I show you here, Japan, Middle East, and Korea, because the decision is very long. So the question is how to deal with them, right? And here's some tips for you. First, don't rush in the negotiation process. When you negotiate with them, you have to know that those people, usually they are a little bit slow. So you should take the time, okay? Don't go very fast. The most important is you have to give them attention, right? You have to give attention to the details because for them, the details are very important, right? Because the more information you give them, the more details you give them, the more they will be able to see that working with you is not very risky, right? After that, make sure that your clients have enough information about you, right? About your company and about the agreement. You have to give them everything. If something is missing, the process of decision will take more time. So make sure you have all the information for them, okay? You also have to know that those people, they focus on relationships. So try to put some efforts on building a relationship and building trust. Because if they trust you, if they have very good relationship with you, the decision process will be a little bit faster. And again, when you make a deal, try to go step by step, right? Don't go very fast. Give them enough information. It's better to give them information by information than giving them everything at once. So this is basically about number 10, which is taking risks. So now I'm going to come up with the summary. As we saw today, we showed why the culture is very important, right? Why? It's because we live in a global economy, right? For you as an international salesperson, the key to success is understanding the culture. If you understand the culture, it will be easier for you to have a face-to-face meetings. face-to-face negotiation. It will be easier for your company and the company from the other countries to build a strong relationship. It will be easier for your company to create a very good product and marketing for international markets, for different markets, because you understand the cultures. You will be able to come up with the right product for this country. We saw that the world population is divided into 3 parts. Don't think that the world is all similar. The world is more complex because it depends on the geography, it depends on the language, and it depends on the religion. And last but not the least, I show you the 10 cultural factors that can affect your business. Those 10 points are extremely important, and you have to, take notes and pay a lot of attention to them, because they will really help you, when you do a negotiation with your clients. As I said here, first you have to understand what is the objective of the negotiation. The objective is to build a relationship or just to make a contract. What is the attitude of your clients? Does the client is looking for win-win situation or win-lose situation? What is the personal style of your client? Is he formal or informal? Does he want me to call him Mr. McDonald's or he wants me to call him John? Communication. How can I communicate with him? Directly or indirectly? Time sensitivity. Is this client coming from low sensitivity time for the culture or high sensitivity time? Am I working with a German or I'm working with an Indian? Very important. Emotions. When I negotiate with him, am I able to better understand him through his emotions, or maybe he doesn't show his emotions? It's very important. Agreement, right? When we make a contract, does it have to be specific or more general? When I build the contract, do I have to go one by one, or I have to work on more general terms and then I go back to specifications, as we saw before? Team organization. When I do negotiation, who's going to take the decision? Is it one person or the whole group? Again, depends on every country. And last, which is risk taken, is my clients someone who comes from a country that takes risk or comes from a country that doesn't take risk, right? Is he American, who can decide very fast, or he's from Japan and other countries like the Middle East, who wants more information, who wants to know me better? So the decision will be a little bit longer. So basically this is the end of this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I will